Good morning. Joyce Blowers at Delightful Quilting and Sewing in Avon, New York with another Tech Tuesday. Today I want to talk about spring cleaning. No, not the kind in your house where, we can do that anytime. This is spring cleaning on your Nolting long arm machine. So there's a couple of things that should be done on a regular basis, but we'll cover it as spring cleaning. You might want to do it a couple times a year, or maybe a little more frequently if you are an avid long arm quilter. So we're going to talk about a little extra cleaning in the bobbin area, and also another part of your machine up here in the top. I've taken out 2 of the 3 screws here on the side cover. Now this probably you only need to do maybe once a year. So I have 1 more screw to take out. There's 2 here on the side, and on the Fun Quilter there's 1 right here on the front. On the other machines there's only the 2 screws right there. So just finishing unscrewing this one, and it comes out. You need a hex of some kind, and a 9/64 to go into the screw head on this. Inside here, one of the things to look at is just to make sure that there is no lint or dust that is built up inside of the head. Very easy to clean. You can just take some canned air and blow it out. Put some alcohol on a piece of scrap batting and just wipe in here. One thing you never want to see is you never want to see any oil puddled up in here. If you find oil puddled up, you're over oiling the top of your machine. The other thing to take a look at in here is the oil wicks. There's 4 oil wicks in here, and you want to just make sure that when you rotate the hand wheel that those oil wicks are coming in contact. This one back in there is coming in contact with that rotating part right there. Just make sure that they're coming in contact with the rotating parts of the machine, and that keeps the top of the machine oiled. And we talked about oiling the machine in a former video, so I'm not going to cover that again. So on all of the machines, the other thing, and with regular maintenance, of course, you want to always keep your bobbin area cleaned out, but with spring cleaning, you want to go after it a little bit more. On the Fun Quilter, we're going to remove this plate right here. I'm not going to do it on this one, but again, it takes a hex on most of these. It goes down into these set screws right here that you're going to undo, and just lift this head off to expose the hook area, because we want to clean the top of that hook area. So over on the NV that I have here, this has the D plate on it, as does all of the other machines other than the Fun Quilter. There's 2 screws right here that we're going to undo so that we can clean and again get at our hook area underneath here. I would say that if you have a computer system, on your machine, it'll be a little bit more challenging to get in the side cover. This is the Quilt Imagine bracket that's on the NV, so it would require some extra hands and some extra work to get into here. So I wouldn't do it, more than once a year. It's not necessary. So over here on the Pro, I used the Pro a little bit on one quilt recently, and I always cleaned out the bobbin area with every change of bobbin. Blew it out thoroughly, and you would think it would be nice and clean. I've used, look at this, I've only used a half of a bobbin, and I wanted to show you what the buildup of this. Now this is cotton thread, and you get more buildup with cotton thread than you do with a poly thread. But look at the buildup down here in the hook area. Can you see this dust right in here? This lint right up here at the front of the hook area? This is with a half of a bobbin, and you would go like, I just blew that out. There shouldn't be anything in there, but there is. And even if you look in the bobbin itself, you can see on the back side of the bobbin, see that pink right there, that pink fuzz? That's with a half of a bobbin of use that has built up in there. And even along the shank, right in here, you can see that there's fuzz built up on that. And when I rotate the hand wheel down, look at the fuzz that's built up on the needle shaft, right in there. There's a lot of it. So this is rather linty thread. I use it because I love it, and it sews beautifully. It is Filtex Cairo cotton thread that Nolting sells. And this is what the underside of the throat plate looks like. All of this in here, this whitish stuff, is fuzz. So we're going to clean this out. And if you're using cotton thread on a regular basis, you might want to do this more than once a year. You might want to do it once a month maybe, or once every other month, to make sure that the top side of your hook area is cleaned out well. Back up a little. All right, so the way we're going to do this, I have some of the things that we're going to use. We're going to use some alcohol. I found this. It's got a plunger top on it. Really handy to use. Push down on it and the alcohol comes up on the cloth. So I'm going to use that to clean off the bottom side of this plate. And just wipe off the top side too. So you can see right there, a lot of stuff came off of that. And on the inside of our hook area, I'm going to take my canned air, blow that off, blow it off up around the needle shaft. Down in there, and you want to angle it in every direction so that you can get that cleaned out good. I'm also going to wet my cotton swab here, and as I'm rotating the hand wheel around, I'm looking down onto the top of the hook assembly. Now normally, I have the light on the machine. Normally I would not do this with my machine on, but for the sake of lighting here, I have that on. So you can reach in here with your cotton swab just to pick up and make sure you can see the stuff that I'm picking up on the cotton swab. You can see that there's a lot of thread fuzz, down in there on that hook assembly. Rotate it around in every area that you can. Here's another area that I can get back into, back in here. And even on the top of this hook the hook shield right there, I can pick up some more of this. So rotate it around a couple of positions, clean that off real good so that you don't see any fuzz down in there. So this is what I cleaned out, believe it or not. Quite a bit in there. So one last thing on the spring cleaning thing is, one of the things inside of the bobbin case when you are changing bobbins is you should always blow out the fuzz. Make sure that there's no fuzz down in the little cracks and crannies down in there. Again, you can take some alcohol on a swab and get down in there to clean that out. One other place that I recommend as a once in a while thing is the spring right here that we have on our bobbin case. Fuzz can even build up under that. So I'm taking just a regular quilting pin here that's a 1 3/4 inch quilting pin, and I'm going to slide it under this open area right here and just slide it across underneath that spring and just draw it forward a little bit. And I think you can probably even see the fuzz. It's kind of hard to focus on that, but there is some fuzz on the end of that pin that I was able to pull out of there. So those are some things that you can do. Spring is a good time to do it, but maybe spring, summer, fall, and winter. Maybe 4 times a year, to take the cover off of your throat plate area so that you can clean this out very thoroughly down in here and get rid of all that fuzz. One of the problems with the buildup of the fuzz down in the bobbin area. And one of the reasons why you need to oil it on a very regular basis, every 2 or 3 bobbins, or more frequently if you're getting a lot of lint buildup like with this cotton thread, is the lint has a tendency to absorb the oil. And when the lint is absorbing the oil, then the oil is not doing its job in lubricating the moving parts in the hook assembly. So that's it for today's Tech Tuesday. Now I've got you enthused, you can go and clean your machine. Have a great day.